Hello and welcome back to Me and My Screwdriver, the only channel that is about a month late to this battle. This is Benoit Blanc versus Hercule Poirot. Fuck, I can never say his name. After that embarrassing display of me saying his name, I will say I love Hercule Poirot. Up there is one of my favourite detectives, which sounds really neaky, I know. Shut up. And Benoit Blanc, obviously Knives Out, Glass Onion, still pretty cool. I do notice, however, 7-minute and a half long battle. More than just 3 people. I'm expecting, like, the Russian leaders type shit from, like, ERB. If it is, this is gonna be sick. If it is, who are we predicting? Sherlock? Sherlock's gonna be in there. Shaggy? Who's another, like... Oh, wait, Ace Attorney, kind of, maybe could be in there. Fucking Atticus Finch from... Inspector, cool. I put them both in there. Me and Columbus. Frank Columbus. Let's go, come on. Oh, obviously, sorry. Battle by Freshy Kanal. I'll turn it down like a little bit. Battle by Freshy Kanal. I'll link him in the description. This battle and his channel himself. If I forget to link the battle, but I link the channel, then it is the second video on his channel as of now. If it's not, by the time this is up, then fuck you. It's your fault. Let's go. It's a little loud. Turn it down a little. That's all right. Benoit Blanc. That's the guy who plays, what's it? Fucking James Bond in James Bond vs. Austin Powers. Okay, that's sick.
Mon Dieu, this poor man's been attacked. Don't panic, they'll have some confidence.
Okay.
Murders on the track.
Already, the voice? Fucking perfect. Actually, I don't want to say it, right? Hercule Poirot, fuck. I love him. He's great. I've only really watched movies. I've not read any books. Maybe I tried to read one. I don't remember. I haven't really read the books, so I'm probably going to miss some things. As much as I do love this guy. I'm sorry.
This poor man's been attacked. Don't panic, they'll have some confidence. Murders on the track are exactly what I am strongest.
Hey!
Monsieur Blanc, is it your how you say incompetent?
Okay.
Something here's afoot, so watch me once again go stomp on shit.
Hey, nice, okay?
Long metaphors that you use to accomplish or prove nothing. Rule out people, then you deduce from it. So what do you do? So they get a clue. Crucially true, so the chant and recursive spoof from it. If you're wondering who Blanc is, he's the accused of reducing a who done it to a who's done it.
That's good. Okay. I'll be there. Okay, I'll go back. I feel like I'm letting it play a little bit too much. Let's go back. I from what I've heard though, he's spitting.
This poor man's been attacked. Don't panic, they'll have some confidence. Murders on the track.
Okay, Murders on the Track is actually one I'm strongest in. The one movie where there's like the murder on the track, the train was like derailed. And he like solved that mystery. You know, so Murders on the Track, you know, people died from that like train accident. He solved it. He's strong in like solving that. Murders on the Track is in dissing people on like a rap, you know, piece of music. Solid starter.
Exactly what I am strongest in. Monsieur Blanc, is it your how you say incompetent?
Again, stupendous. He's getting like the voice, like the everything is perfect here. I love how they've presented Hercule Poirot.
Something here's afoot, so watch me once again go stomp on shit.
And something here's afoot. Once we go stomp on shit. Afoot. Something here's afoot. As in like something's wrong here. Something's suspicious. Afoot as in, you know, a foot literally. So stomping you stomping your feet. Like it.
Long metaphors that you use to accomplish.
Long metaphors that you use to accomplish and prove nothing. That's because in both Knives Out and Glass Onion, Benoit Blanc does this thing where he just like makes up random like analogies almost to describe the situation or like describe what's happening. Off the top of my head, there's one about like a donut hole or something. I don't remember why he was talking about donut holes. I don't remember what he was trying to say, but he was talking about donut holes. And yeah, because I admittedly I'm dumbing it down heavily when I say this, but in essence the plot of like Knives Out, Glass Onion a little less, but like, Knives Out is kind of like Benoit Blanc is like, oh, it's this guy. Oh wait, this proves him innocent. It's this guy. Oh wait, this proves him innocent. So on and so forth until they find him. in essence. Again, I'm dumbing it down. There's a lot more to that, but that's in essence the main plot, I would say. The main like how the story progresses. And so obviously in Clue you have a similar thing. You know, you go around the board. You're like, okay, this person's innocent. This person's innocent. This person's innocent. This isn't the murder weapon. This isn't the murder weapon. This isn't the murder place. This isn't the murder place. Okay, this is the killer. This is the murder weapon. This is the place. Because I know that these aren't. It's deduction. It's not actual like figuring out. So he's saying that like, you know, you claim you're this great detective, but I could get the same experience that you give to, I guess, your clients through I gave a clue. I also just like love like the fucking like stern look, like quick look he gives back to him when he says that. Turn a genre to took a genre so crucially truthful and trying to regurgitate a spoof from it. Not entirely sure what that's like. So I get the idea, but I'm not entirely sure how that like fits with like Knives Out and Glass Onion. Maybe because it's just such like a popular film in the sense that like it's like a massive blockbuster, and so obviously it's trying to appeal to as many people as possible. Maybe. I don't know what else that could mean though. He said, okay, who done it to who's done it? Bit of wordplay there. I really like it.
The best detectives not likely. 007 herbs and spices.
007 herbs and spices. 007 obviously being a reference to this actor for Benoit Blanc also plays one of the James Bonds. Also a double reference. Obviously this actor, as I've already mentioned, this actor that plays Benoit Blanc here plays James Bond in the Epic Rap Battles, which is quite cool. The only sense he's left is of dress, and that's because the inspector calls him new Silas, which is true. Well, not necessarily true. I wouldn't say that the only sense he has is dress, but rap battle, obviously. He's basically saying you're not smart, you're not like doing solving the crimes. The only thing you're doing well is dress wise, and that's not even your doing. That's your stylist, which is quite funny. These guys, my first of all, the footage very cool here because he has this like weird obsession with like eggs being perfect. I think that's what it is. I will admit, Hercule Poirot, I've not watched one of his movies in a little bit, so I'm gonna like I'll get all like the main details. I'll just like misconstrue like certain little bits. But also he talks about like these like grey cells in his brain that help him like focus like deeply onto like certain points, which strange, but go off. Okay. Among Us! Okay. Hey, that's actually gonna hit. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Because my man magnifies it. On any invite list, I guess it's just saying it's like unpopular, you know. Even with like how much I can figure out, I can't even figure out a way for you to be on an invite list. Okay. You're an imposter. And I like Among Us said about I believe Glass Onion basically opens because it's set in like 2020, so they're like playing Among Us, you know, which was popular, and it's also like a murder mystery type game, and it's like in in a bathtub in a hot water. So in hot water, like Among Us, you're an imposter. You're in hot water, like Among Us, you're an imposter, right? Obviously the Among Us gameplay, it's figuring out who the imposter is. When like someone's in hot water and in like a stressful, dangerous situation, they're about to get like caught, whatever, and that's what he's in if he's like accusing him of being an imposter. And obviously he was in the bathtub, so he literally was in hot water. Really nice bit of... As much as it is fucking Among Us joke, I love it. Okay. Only one grey cell that you see inside. Again, the grey cells he talks about in his head, you're not going to be able to see them. You're not going to be able to figure out my way of like solving crimes. The only grey cell you'll see is a prison cell, basically.
This case is like an egg. What I mean is you can't stop.
That's such a good way to open his verse. This case is like an egg. It's one of his weird metaphors that he, you know, goes along with, but also it's again linking to Hercule with his like weird egg obsession. That's a great way to open the verse. I'm sorry, I already paused already. I'll let him flow for like 30 seconds to make up for it. I won't commentate for 30 seconds. Don't worry.
This case is like
come on then.
What I mean is you can't stand it. That's all right. Enter Benoit Blanc. Right. He's here to crack.
Okay.
I ask that you retract all your dull points like a fake nine.
Okay.
Mustache mask alone's covering up a
Hey.
Far-fetched farming dreams will have to wait time. The only thing you planted in the soil is your
Okay. Okay, no, I'm going back. Okay, no, he's won. He's winning. Okay. Fucking hell, ref. Our words. Okay, this guy's like an egg. What do you mean she can't stand it? Because again, he has that weird like obsession with X being perfect. He can't like stand for them not to be again perfect.
That's all right. Enter Benoit Blanc.
Yeah, so crack it. Crack an egg, crack a case. Pretty self-explanatory. Dull points like a fake knife. I'm assuming there's some fake knife in one of the films that I'm just like blanking on. Whether it be in Hercule or Benoit. Like dull points, like, you know, the dull tip of a knife, if a knife's not sharpened, or if it's a fake knife, it's not going to be a sharp tip. And like dull points is in like an accusation, a point that's not very like hard hitting, I suppose. And that mustache mask alone's covering up a crime because the reason, at least in the films, if I remember correctly from what I've heard, this is just something that's completely made up in the from the books. It's completely separate. But what's it? He grows his mustache out to be so large because I think it was it World War I or World War II? I'm gonna go with World War One because that sounds more right with, because I think it's more set like earlier, like nearer to the 80s or 1800s, late 1800s, like early 1900s. I think that's about where it's set. So I think that makes more sense. Maybe not even like early 1800s. It's just closer to that. Anyways, he was in World War One and he tripped this like tripwire. And that, like, caused an explosion, which scarred, like, part of his face, which he, you know, grows a mustache to cover up. So he's covering a crime, he's covering... this could be, like, two things, like a war crime, I suppose, you know, like, well, I don't know if that would constitute as a war crime, but it works for this analogy. Or, you know, just, like, it looks so ugly that it could constitute as a crime, which is mean as hell, and I love it for this rap battle. He's kind of already won. But to be fair, I don't know if it's going to be exactly like, the Russian leader battle, where it's like one verse, or if it's going to be like one verse, two verse, two verse, and then a new person gets a verse. I don't know how it's going to be. And then your far-fetched farming dream. The only thing you've planted in the soil is your late wife, because I'm pretty sure she died on was it the train accident? I think so. I think it was that, and so he's basically saying you had to, you know, bury her grave, dig her a grave, put her in there, instead of doing what you really want to do, which is starting. Did you want to start a farm? I don't remember that. Again, probably just a small detail that I'm missing out. But obviously that like links together. It's not a mystery since seeing him be so wicked Agatha Christie wish she'd never. And then yeah, I've heard about this. Agatha Christie, the original author of the Hercule Poirot books, she didn't like the movies because they were so different from her interpretation. They presented Hercule as like a completely different character in essence. I don't know if him saying like he's more wicked. I don't know if that means that he's meaner in the movies than he is in the books. I would assume it's something like that. But basically, he's saying he wishes that the author wishes that he just was never written for the film, which is quite cruel to say that your own author didn't want you to be written. Not a mystery since seeing him be so wicked Agatha Christie wish she'd never been written. Please, before you diss me, consider the win conditions. Watch it blow up in your face, literally. Why are you? Hey, that's little folks we're talking about. Evidence confirms this decorated veteran possessed. I love the little folks. Sorry, I'm pausing. I like the I love the flow. I'll let him finish because I think he's coming to the end of his verse. Okay, let me go back. It's your late wife. But please, before you diss me, consider the wind conditions. Watch it blow up in your face. Wind conditions, right? Blow, wind, okay. Blow up in your face, you know, like something like backfiring on you. But then also blow up literally, he says. Why are you tripping? He tripped to the wire. It caused the bomb to blow up. That's like 3 different things in one fucking like bar. That's sick.
Collected evidence confirms this
I love that flow. Okay, this decorated veteran at gangsters in the war.
veteran possessed the intent to disperse of this gentleman, thus making his murder a second. You certainly switch your profession.
You've certainly switched to the profession up. Now learn the taste of your own medicine. We're pretty self-explanatory.
Your own medicine.
Too bad I couldn't have served
Couldn't have served him early and prevent.
prevent his heart from letting up. Yeah, his heart lets up. Well, his heart lets up. Yeah, let's phrase it like that. Good job, me and my screwdriver. And so obviously he's saying like, taste of your own medicine. Oh wait, I wish I gave it to you earlier, so it would prevent your what's it?
And it is hard from their mouth.
Sorry to interrupt.
Is it? Is this Columbo? This Frank Columbo? Hold on.
Served him early and prevented his heart from their mouth.
Sorry to interrupt you, skirmish detectives. I'm Lieutenant.
It fucking is. I'm hyped for this, but also I have not watched Columbo in fucking ages, and even then, there's like quite a lot of Columbo to watch. I don't know if I even ever finished it. I don't know if I'm gonna remember much of it because there's just so many different episodes. So I might not catch everything for this one. Uh-oh.
Columbo, I'd like to ask a few questions. Never been the kind of man to act tough, but don't force my hands or I'll show you how catch.
Okay. I really like the beat on this bit.
Babes, I'll have your methods, but blunt, it's awful suspicious to find you next to that lifeless body, arguing with it.
Okay.
You said you work with cops, but what I'm trying to figure out, you spent all that time in Brussels, never tried one of their sprouts?
So fucking stupid. That's so dumb, but I fucking love it. Let's go back. I don't think I caught any of that.
Never been the kind of man to act tough, but don't force my hands or
I'll show you how catch. That's gotta be something. I just don't know.
show you how catch. I know you're smart.
I know you're smart. I'm
Babes, I'll have your methods, but blunt, it's awful suspicious to find you next to that lifeless body, arguing with it.
And that's gotta be like a scene I'm just forgetting entirely. Does he like shout at like a body for some reason? I don't know. I don't remember. Oh god, I wish I did. Because that feels like it should be an impactful. That feels like it should be an impactful bar, but I just don't remember.
Earl, you said you work with cops, but what I'm trying to figure out, you spent all that time in Brussels, never tried.
Also, how did he say it? I never remember how to say this guy's name. Hold on.
Said you work with
Say it again, please.
to find you next to that lifeless body, arguing with it. Earl, you said you
Poirot. Okay, it's Hercule Poirot. That makes a lot more sense than Hercule Poirot. Okay. Hercule Poirot.
work with cops, but what I'm trying to figure out.
That is like embarrassing. I should know his name so well because I love Hercule Poirot films. But I just don't. You spent all that time in Brussels. Never tried one of their sprouts. I mean, I grew Hercule Poirot grew up in Brussels sprouts. Great.
Tried one of their sprouts, and I'm sorry for your loss. Wives can nag at you for a while, but even after the murder, you're still living in denial. Mr. Blunt.
I know, let him go, and then I'll break it down.
In fact, I can tell because a donut's not the kind of hole someone would describe you. Weeks abroad, stressing your husband, suspicious, isn't it? Don't be the first man to catch a case while social distancing.
Hey!
Oh boy, whoever did this must have been some posh snob. But just one more thing, how much those watches cost?
Hey! Okay, I love that. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, why that's so cool to me.
You're out. You spent all that time in Brussels, never tried one of their sprouts, and
I'm sorry for your loss.
Wives can
Wives can nag at you for a while.
nag at you for a while, but even after the murder, you're still
Living in denial, like not accepting what's reality. But also there was a movie where, or like some story. I don't remember. Was it ever a movie? I don't remember it being in a movie. It might have just been a book and I've heard about it. I don't know. It's been a little bit since I've watched Hercule Poirot, I'm not gonna lie. But there's this one where he goes to the Nile in Egypt, obviously. The Nile, denial, okay.
been in denial. Mr. Blanc, he inspired your act, right? In fact, I can tell because a donut's not the kind of hole someone would describe you as.
And yeah, your donut hole is not the way someone would describe you. Obviously meaning arsehole, but also a link to that metaphor he was talking about that I was talking about earlier. And also,
Weeks abroad, stressing your husband, suspicious, isn't it?
spent weeks stressing your husband. I don't know if it's ever actually confirmed it's like his husband or if it's just like a friend or like part or whatever. It's never explicitly like said, I don't think. But, you know, stressed him out because obviously, like, you know, he went off and he was there for much longer than, I think it was, like, there for much longer than he should be because of the case and all that.
Be the first man to catch a case while social
Distancing, again, it took place in 2020, all the social distancing was going on, and so, you know, catch a case of COVID, but catch a case is in, like, a crime, or, like, having to, like, investigate one. So he's gonna have to catch a case while he's social distancing. That's nice, that's nice.
Say, that's all, boy. Whoever did this must have been some posh snob. But just one more thing, how much those watches cost?
And that's so cool because, sorry, I'm eating food right now. I feel really bad. We're done. Okay, sorry. That's cool because, anytime, like, Columbo does, like, an investigation, his whole thing is, like, he'll talk about something, and then as he's leaving, it's like, oh, wait, by the way, and then he drops this question that basically, like, reveals, like, the truth in essence. So he's just talking about, like, oh, it must be, like, a posh snob, must have been somebody who's posh. I'm going now. Oh, wait, by the way, how much do those watches cost? You know, we can infer that he thinks that, like, oh, those watches are expensive, those people are rich, he is accusing one of them.
This must have been some posh snob. But just one more thing, how much those watches cost?
Now, this person, I don't know who this is.
Indeed, Lieutenant. I'll have to stop you right there. Don't think you're in successor just because you're growing white hairs.
How typical, it's Richmond who you target as suspect.
Who are you? I'll watch some more. I'm gonna be watching more. I'm more gonna be trying to figure out who this is based on the bars. So I'm not gonna be like reacting to like the bars in an insane way.
But my suspicions of your guilt have grown beyond just 1%. So yes, I'd hardly call you qualified for solving this man's death. The fake eye tells me your perception skills are far out of their.
Oh wait, never mind. Wait, no, he goes. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna watch this entire verse just to try and figure out who this is. What he's obviously it's L. I don't know what that's from though. Let me try and figure this out. And then I'll watch back through when like Paul says like the bars I want to talk about come up. Okay. Oh wait, see, wait, hold on. There's like Yoga me in the background. Is this Death Note? I'm assuming this guy's Death Note. I've not watched it, so I might not get everything here.
You're growing white hairs.
Typical, it's Richmond who you target as suspects, but my suspicions of your guilt have grown beyond just 1%.
Oh, I didn't even catch that the first time. I was gonna just like say something else. Sorry. Of course you're targeting Richmond, right? But my suspicions on you being the killer are beyond 1%. You know, I'm not just like uncertain now. I'm quite sure now that you could be the killer. And just beyond the 1%, the 1% being, you know, the elites, the rich people in society, that's really nice.
So yes, I'd hardly call you qualified for solving this man's death. The fake eye tells me your perception skills are far out of their depth.
And yet, your fake eye tells me your perception skills aren't very good, because the actor for Columbo has a fake eye, it's a glass eye. So obviously if you don't have like both your eyes proper like eyes, you're probably not going to be able to see things as clearly, you know? So his perception, you know, seeing isn't going to be as good. That's cool, that's a good bar,
Qualified for solving this man's death. The fake eye tells me your perception skills are far.
Also, I really like this beat as well.
Your episodes, it's the same stars you're opposing. Well, this time Rob helps the culprit. Fantastic job, Sherlock.
That's good. That's really good, because one of my main issues with Columbo, I loved the show. One of my main issues, they kept bringing these like celebrity stars on, and every single time the celebrity star would be the killer. So it just removed any like intensity from the episode. Oh, that's good. That's a good bar. And L's kind of spitting.
Same stars you're opposing. Well, this time Rob helps the culprit. Fantastic job, Sherlock Holmes.
And Sherlock Holmes. Fucking hell, ref. Fucking hell.
Same stars you're opposing. Well, this time Rob helps the culprit. Fantastic job, Sherlock Holmes. You dig what's known, rediscover it. Less Columbo, more Columbus.
Oh my god!
Last years before you ever cracked a glass on.
Okay.
Charade is built on lies and folk tales. That body seems like just another target, Mr. Faulttail.
Okay. Oh, he cooked.
The culprit, fantastic job, Sherlock Holmes. You take what's known,
rediscover it, you know? You take evidence people already know, and then say it in your voice to kind of make it seem more, I guess, substantial. Less Columbo, more Columbus. Columbo and Columbus, obviously very similar names. Columbus, you know, the guy who, like, apparently found America, you know, who didn't find it. He rediscovered it from people who were already living there. So he's making that comparison between Columbus. That is, oh my god, he's cooking. And then glass eye again. Ever cracked a glass onion? Obviously, onions are meant to, when you peel them or cut them, meant to make you cry. And then like glass eye, glass tears, glass onion, that sort of like connection between them. Oh, that's so. I love that. I love that.
Your entire charade is built on lies and folktales. That body seems like just another target, Mr. Folktale.
And then folktales, Mr. Folktales. Oh, that's good. Oh my god. El's. I don't even know who this guy is, and he's winning. That's kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie.
Not quite, but since you play a chess match well.
Sorry. Batman? We're considering him a detective? Okay.
Target, Mr.
Okay.
Folktale.
Not quite, but since you play a chess match well.
I am the Dark Knight and I've been following your path, L.
Hold on, I need to hear that again. Holy shit, hold on.
Play a
I'm not just imagining.
chess match well.
I am the Dark Knight and I've been following your path, L.
I'm the Dark Knight. You play chess. I'm following your path. L. Knights in chess, their path, their pattern is an L shape. He is literally following your path and then saying that it's like the path is L, but also in reference. Okay, but Batman's spinning. Batman's spinning. But also, this is the issue, right? I don't know anything about L, so I am not gonna pick up anything here. I'll try. This is gonna be one of those where I watch the entire verse and just try and pick out anything I can.
We both were orphans, but through the pain I forged my way with discipline. Your mind was molded in a program made for gifted kids.
Okay.
Think your goals to save the innocent. Prestige must be sugar-laced. I know your brain's addicted to it. Your ego's feasted well on Tokyo's carcass. The perfect foil to get up because you're heartless. Treating lives like they're pawns, spending all of your time watching the light. But make sure you mind the darkness. Gotham Shinigami in the darkest corner.
Okay, this is kind of sick. What the fuck?
Preserving life and crashing any guilty party. Riddle solving, it comes with the job. So hide as Hideki L or Ryuzaki. There's no pseudonym that you're adopting, which will stop me. All that effort to see light indicted, just to be written off by his sidekick.
Okay.
To you from all sides, what will you do next? It's checkmate, and you're just like your heart with no moves left.
Oh my god, bro. Okay, I got none of that apart from the first and last line, and both those lines were fucking heat. Checkmate, right, is when you don't have any moves left in chess, you've lost, and then he links that to his heart, which I'm assuming, because I know how the Death Note works. That's all I really know about Death Note. You write someone's name in it, and then they die, but it's acted to be like a heart attack. So obviously, you have a heart attack, your heart has no more, it stops, it can't move anymore. So L, has a heart attack, got no moves left, checkmate, got no moves left. That is so good. I'm not going to go back through it. I would, the only things I know I'm picking up is like, there's a couple where he's like, I do this, I do that, I'm Batman, I do this stuff. Where he's like bragging about himself, and those aren't really the most interesting to break down anyways. I would if someone in the comments wants to like, break down this verse, I would love that. And I will give you a like and a heart. That is a great award in the me and my screwdriver community. Let's go, come on. Oh, okay, shit, we just got Scooby in here. Okay, sick.
You're just like your heart with no moves left.
Fragile assholes does it take to crack a murder scene? Like, don't lash out at Shaggy, man, cause it wasn't me.
Okay.
Scooby can't rush to conclusions, it's important. Last time someone took shots in the dark, Bruce got
Okay. What the fuck? Just like that, Shaggy wins. Okay.
a murder scene.
Okay.
Don't lash out at Shaggy, man, cause it wasn't me.
Batman. We can't just assume he's Batman. We gotta actually like do a little bit of investigating.
We can't rush to conclusions. It's important. Last time someone
took shots in the dark. Obviously, taking shots in the dark is like a guess, basically with no evidence.
took shots in the dark.
Bruce got orphaned. Obviously, in that alleyway, his parents were shot. It was a dark alleyway. His parents got shots in the dark. He shoots the bullet, and then it goes all dark. Oh my! Like, what do I say? How do I say someone's winning over Shaggy now? That's fucking mental.
Boy, wonder where you would get a sidekick if the element of rage doesn't let him back in. 'Cause I don't
using the voice cracks as a way to like emphasize like the end of life. That's so good. That's so good. Also, hold on. Boy Wonder. Oh no, the ratings peak. Boy Wonder is what Robin used to be called. Basically, like 85 years ago, basically when like Batman like first really started, when Robin was first introduced. And he's about to talk about Robin. Oh my god. If the elementary doesn't let him back. And yeah, pretty basic, I'm not gonna lie. But like a whole joke about like, you know, Batman having something weird with Robin. Okay. 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 Hey! Okay! What? You can just say that? That's a lot. You can just say that. You can just say that now. Okay. I'm going back. You know, obviously Batman's been like a hero for 83 years. He's been like the main character of DC for so long, and still Gotham doesn't get any better. Still Gotham still is riddled with crime. And obviously like Scooby-Doo constantly has these like crossover episodes, and every single time the Scooby Gang wins, usually similar to Columbus, usually it'll be like the crossover character is like the murderer, the killer, the predator. Fucking hell, ref. It'll usually be them. So what he's saying is like if Joker got into a crossover with me, he would be the killer and I would stop him. Okay. Yep, okay, obviously, you know, because they need to keep the franchise going. Whenever a criminal's captured, they just end up getting out anyways. And obviously, you know, Batman's like whole identity is the Bat costume. But what's it? Velma, you know, and obviously, you know, like he's saying that like if they keep getting out, you're clearly blind. If you're not able to like see them get out, you're kind of like Velma without her glasses. You know, obviously bats have to rely on echolocation. They're blind creatures. Okay, and also I wanted to point out. Every quack in Arkham, right? When he says quack, the Penguin, the character, you know, like penguins, they kind of go quack, you know. He's the one who's like brought into the spotlight. That's just like a really cool like little detail that I noticed. And also, I'm pretty sure those are all characters who. Sorry. These are all characters that have been in Fresh Battles. This is the Penguin vs Boris Johnson. Admittedly, I don't know who that is. That's probably just one I'm forgetting. And this one's the Riddler versus... Who was it? I think it's that Danganronpa guy, right? I don't know. I don't care about Danganronpa. Now no glasses. And yeah, unmask him, right? And so under the mask, it's, you know, the actor. Ben Affleck was one of the actors for Batman. And Ben Affleck obviously has allegations against him about, you know, molesting people. So, you know, Ben Affleck, method acting, zoinks, as Shaggy would say. That's my commentary. Fucking RF. Shag-worthy size mansion. Why are you never happy? Gang unmask him, it's Ben Affleck, zoinks, he's method acting. Surely the gang gets to like rap at some point, right? Come on. Okay. All he really said there was like, you know, a reference to the Shaggy 1% meme. Okay.
Hey, Roger, solve the murder if you're so.
Also, is that Fight Marker? Yeah, I kept looking about. I was like, is that Fight Marker? But like the voice just didn't match. Then I forgot. Oh yeah, different people could do the audio and different people could do the video. That's Fight Marker.
Damn smart. Like, I don't know, man. I'm only here for the free sandwich bar.
Okay. My pipe in my hat. I got my eyes on the
facts. Obviously Sherlock's in here. Come on.
Stringing more notes than my violin has. This case is finally cracked. Step on the street with a baker.
I
put that fire in my raps.
Because Sherlock Holmes, he lives on Baker Street. fire wraps, fire, heating up an oven to, bake something, okay.
Now that you're talking to Sherlock Holmes, they're in a mind who can match.
Okay.
You can't handle the truth. Acts into bodies that bring better value than you.
Okay.
You actually do. No better than bait when you're coolies, you battered and bruised.
Okay.
Hard fact to deduce. Gathering clues of some basketball hounds here. Dog that could bite her a man to a ground, but a muscle before me a Shaggy and Scoob.
Okay, let me break that bit down. It's a better value than you. He's basically saying Shaggy's useless for the team, yeah?
What do you actually do? No better than
You're better than bait when you crew, which is true. Obviously, whenever there's like a chase sequence in Scooby-Doo, typically it'll be like Shaggy and Scooby running around in those like hallways, which will eventually lead to the killer getting in like one of the traps
when you're coolies, you battered and bruised.
that someone else has set up.
Not a hard fact to deduce. Gathering clues of some basketball hounds.
Gavin Cruz and some Baskerville Hounds. Baskerville Hounds is one of the most popular Sherlock Holmes stories. And that also links to Scooby, obviously being a dog. And the monster they perform, Shaggy and Scooby, basically just calling the kind of like flipping it like, oh, Scoob's the dog, Shaggy's the human. Now they're both dogs because Shaggy's as dumb as dog, I suppose, is the joke that.
Like I see you in age well. No
Okay.
evidence relying on your fake tales. My psych is a doctor after Hastings, still using his brain or his grace.
Okay.
The murderer and colleges and quaint tales. Terminate the perpetrator before they ever raise hell. Pray tell you derail to distract for the pain when your wife derail from the trap.
Okay.
Batman, all the tech that you got and helping you more than one line of code.
Okay.
Under all of that stuff, you're down to the core of regular blow.
Yeah.
Even L needs a force behind it. I'm solving crimes of my own. So go read about it, gain more renown with
Every death that I know.
Okay.
through in a horse-drawn carriage.
Bypass Franco got caught in traffic.
Okay.
How many baggeries happen?
Sorting clues, can't sort his marriage.
Okay.
Advice I'm given. Stop the villain, all the crimes committed.
Cause every visit you find a victim.
You've been bribed by slime or
Okay.
The clues of the crime.
Who's got a side?
On the culprit. Well, who's in the right? By looking how the lace on his shoe has been tied.
And the strings of the juice on his thigh.
He tumbled and fell, I assume, with a fright.
But I see there's no blood or a wound in my side.
Was he used to a light? See the moves of his eye. I can only conclude that this dude's still alive.
Okay. I need to go back. I need to get. That's such a good verse. Jesus Christ. The flow. Oh my god. The constant like Watson jumping in. Oh my god, that's so good. I don't know. Little Flex, it just works for like a duet.
I can see you in age well.
Hopefully, I can see what you ain't.
No evidence relying on your fake tales.
Okay, yeah, my psychic's a
My
doctor.
psych is a doctor after Hastings, still using his brain or his grey cells.
Arthur Hastings is Perrot's sidekick basically, and compared to Watson, he's not a great sidekick. Hastings is nowhere near the intellect as Hercule, whereas with Watson, it's arguable that they're both like a similar like level of intelligence. You get you can argue realistically Watson's maybe a little bit less intelligent, but is that because he's less intelligent or because it makes sense for the plot and Sherlock being the main character?
For the murderer and colleges and quaint
Oh my god, searching for the murder in a cottage. Okay.
tales. Terminate the perpetrator before they ever raise hell.
Okay.
Pray tell you
Pray tell you derail to distract.
derail to distract. Pain when your wife derail from the trap.
Okay, again, another joke about the wife dying. A bit overdoing it now, but this one's quite a good way of doing it. He's basically saying, right, you're doing all of this stuff, like solving all these crimes, going to the cottage, whatnot. You're doing all this just to distract yourself from your wife's death, which, while maybe not true, is very good for a rap battle.
Batman, all the tech that you got and helping you more than one line of coke.
That one, a bit of an odd bar. I guess the idea is that like Batman's a normal dude. The tech isn't helping him. It helps him much as just like having a bit of coke and going crazy, maybe. I don't know. I don't really get that too much.
Under all of that stuff, you're down to the core of regular bloke.
Yeah. Okay.
Even L needs a force behind it. I'm solving crimes of my own.
Okay.
So go read about it, gain more renown with
Every death that I know.
And obviously, Watson's like the doctor. He like notes down like all like the deaths that have happened. Death note, deaths that I know. Okay.
behind it. I'm solving crimes of my own. So go read about it, gain more renown with
Every death that I know.
riding through in a horse-drawn carriage.
Bypass Franco got caught in traffic.
And Frank Colombo, he's like his car's like all battered. He's not gonna talk about it. Run down car, only banger he's having.
How many baggeries happen?
Sorting clues, can't sort his marriage.
Can't sort his marriage. So only banger he's having. That could refer to only banger he's having, bangers and mash, British. Banger he's having is in like music, saying his verse was bad, or banger is in, banging your wife. His wife's like, their marriage is fucked up, they're not getting along, he's not banging his wife, Oh my god, that's good.
Monsieur Punk is advice I'm given. Stop the villain, all the crimes committed. Every visit you find a victim. You've been bribed by slime morticians.
And yeah, so they're basically saying, isn't it mighty suspicious that wherever you go, you just happen to come across a crime? I wonder what's if anything suspicious is going on here. That's so good. That's so good. I love that. This bit's so fucking good. Is that how it ends? That's how it ends, obviously, right? That was so fucking good. That was a great battle. Oh my god. I'll say who I think won, and then I'll like read out all the credits so that like, you know, people who aren't gonna want to sit through like 3 minutes of me reading credits are gonna like click off, obviously. So I'll say who I think won. I'll go for each verse individually, I guess. Purop, I think was good. I think it was a very good verse. I think that Benoit, I think was better though. So I think Benoit was in first. I think Columbo. I'm sure Columbo's was good. I didn't get most of it. What I got was quite good. I just don't think. I think Kids probably is the worst so far. L though, consider I have no clue who this guy is. He cooked. Batman. I think Batman's gonna be like the worst verse to me just because I don't know who L is. So I just don't understand anything. Excuse me. Everything else I got from like everyone else I understood at least something. With Batman's was just like first and last line, which admittedly those bars were great. But the rest of it just, like, I couldn't really, like, enjoy it too much. Shaggy. Okay. As much as I hyped up Shaggy, right, the stuff he was saying, while admittedly insane, it was very surface level. And I do appreciate it when, like, rap battles go, like, a little bit more, like, a little bit more, like, unique with what they're saying. So I think I appreciate L's verse more for that, because he was harsh. He was very harsh against Columbo. He basically broke down, like, what was wrong with his entire show. While also, you know, keeping it, like you actually had to have, like, some knowledge to get that. And I do actually gonna respect that. I think I like L's verse a little bit more because of that. And then this, oh my god, it was so hype. I don't think the disses were maybe as good as, anything else in the battle, really. However, I think this is definitely the best sounding part. So I think, for rapping, for actual, like, rapping and sound and whatnot, this bit. For, like, disses, probably, this bit. Let's go visuals, fuck it. Visuals... Batman's verse. Alright, if you don't want to, like, see me, like, read out, like, the entire credits, because I just feel like it's kind of nice to, understandable, click off now, but thank you to Little Flex, Snakebite126, Rustage, Freshy Kanal, Glitch Dude, Freshy Kanal, Little Flex, The Stupendium, Fight Marker, oh my god, what the hell is her name? Atronax Aura, and Freshy Kanal, Freepool, Rabbi. The Stupendium, Epistra and Glitch Dude, Fresher Canal, Cosworld, Cosvia, Lawless Marshall, Bright Crayons, The Stupendium, Cosvia, Lawless Marshall, Fresher Canal, Power of Damn, Mantis. Hey. Shrubbery, Ben Atha, Tansu, Fresher Canal, Bright Crayons, The Stupendium, Cosvia, Little Flesh, Shrubbery, RNG, Fresher Canal, Mantis. Gianna Matragrano, Glitch Dude and Fresh Canal, Freshy Canal, Zorstum, Atronax Aura, Swisky, Atronax Aura, Zorstum, JJ, Little Flex, Snakebite126, Swisky, Rabbi, Zaz, that's a good name to say. Snakebite126, I mean, it's obvious Snakebite, he's gotta do it. Bunico, Snakebite126, Glitch Dude, Fresh Canal, Zorstum, Atronax Aura, Swisky, Atronax Aura, Zorstum, JJ, Little Flex, Snakebite, Swisky, Game Clash, and Zaz. First of all, I was right. Second of all, Mr. Tibbs, Fight Marker, Robin. No, not Robin. Vladimir Peer, Epistra, Fight Marker, Fresh Canal and Rabbi, Fight Marker, Manta, Fight Marker, Mr. Tibbs, Atronax Aura, JJ, Zorsum, and Bat Spectre. Zorsum, Sion's Fiance, Bunico, Ryan Tibbets VA, Matt Righteous, Tone Jones, Freshy Canal, Zorsum, Swisky, Atronax Aura, Zorsum, JJ, Little Flex, Snakebite, Swisky, Shimario, Luke Reardon, Mantis, and Matt Righteous. And then final bit, come on. Rustage, Little Flex, Tiger Tonic, Matt Righteous, Carrick in net, Cameron? That's such a normal name. The Monarchy. Very happy that King Charles got involved with this one. Fresh Canal, Cotswold, Costumes, Cosvia, Fresh Canal, and Mantis. I think that's all of them. Very, very good battle. Oh, this is... Of course it's the end of part 7, that makes sense. Let me just skip ahead. I want to see... I want to make sure... I want to check if I've watched all these. I'm not going to include the... The Sparta battles, honestly, because as much as I like Freshy, I just don't think they're very good. But I want to check if I've watched all these, so if there's anything for me to react to. Watch that, if I'm reacting to that one. Watch that, react to this one, obviously, just now. Watch that. Watch that one, that's Moon Knight. That's a sponsor. Watch that, I think that's a sponsor. Yeah, that's a sponsor. Oh. Watch that, even did, reaction. Watch that, I can lick them. I think that's a sponsor. No, that's the, Rap Cypher. No, I've watched that one. Watch that. Watch that, that's Kratos. Watch that, that's sponsor. Watch that one. I really wish I was reacting to battles when I watched that one, because that's one of my favourite battles ever. Watch that, that's Rolling Giant. Again, really like that battle. As weird as, like, the matchup was, I really like that battle because I really love the Rolling Giant. It's one of my favourite videos on YouTube, or, like, I guess video series. And watch that. So I don't really have anything much to react to, unfortunately. But I'll look through Freshy's catalogue, see if there's anything I missed from some of the older stuff, maybe. Although I want to keep it relatively new still, because then again, like, some of them are just in general quite bad as they get older, to be entirely honest. I might just do Benjamin vs. Sonic Direct anyways, because I fucking love that one. I think that's everything though. Again, I think for lyrics, I think for this is L1. For sound, I think Sherlock Holmes one, and then I think visuals, I think Batman one. That's my verdict. I hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't want to like go on a little rant about like video quality at the beginning of the video, because I know that makes people click off. New viewers just don't want to hear that. Hopefully the audio quality is better in this video than before, because people have been saying it's quite quiet, so hopefully it's not got that issue. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to become a little screw that I'll use. Let me do it again. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to become a little screw that I'll use to build my next table with. And with that said, thank you for watching. Fucking see ya.